All is one, everyone. Today is August 2nd. Okay, we are officially into August, and this is my birthday month, so I'll be getting excited. Okay, my birthday is next Sunday. We will not have a drill. Okay, we will not have a drill. However, we are going to be divining about August today. We're gonna be, getting our ancestral advice and all that stuff together. But before we do that, Manze, how was your full moon prep since you were in the full moon one last week? How was that?
It was pretty good. I actually did a working that I just completed that I will be putting or disposing of at some point today, but things are moving as they need to be.
Okay, we love it. We love it. We love it. So, clear my space real quick. I'm gonna do a little talk about August. I wasn't going to, but I pulled it up real quick. So we'll get this started. So we're gonna be talking about August. Now August is represents the month itself. Like harvesting, transition. Obviously it has number 8 energy. Okay. So as the 8th month of the year, it bridges the peak warmth of summer with the coming autumn, symbolizing a sacred turning point. Okay, because we know how fall is about to be. Okay, we already know. Those of you who've been in the spiritual streets for a little time, y'all know when fall comes, um, she gets a little wicked, and I don't mean spooky. I mean like the changes. Okay, I have Oya in my court, and she come around real strong in the fall every time, never fails. I don't have no explanation for that because that was before I was even in like this community. I didn't know what it was, but then once I learned what it was, I was like, oh, that's Oya, and she really be doing it real big. So changes, transitioning, things like that. So as far as harvest in abundance, reaping what you sowed, August is traditionally tied to the early harvest, representing a time to enjoy the fruits of your labor and appreciate physical and spiritual provision. Provision is my new favorite word, by the way. Um, for gratitude, it serves as a checkpoint to thank the universe or God, whatever you do, whoever you be thinking about in your head, for sustaining you through the year's earlier seasons. Okay. Reflection and transition, shifting gears. Energetically, August moves people away from frantic outward action and into quiet alignment, encouraging deeper inner stillness. Releasing the old, it prompts introspection to shed old habits, clear away negativity, and prepare for personal transformation before autumn arrives. There we go again with that. So numerology of the number 8. So I had a numerology class years ago, actually, at this point. I think I did it in 2023, maybe. So 3 years ago. It's on the channel. There's actually a numerology playlist now, but we did like 3 or 4 different types of numerology because there is multiple types of numerology. There's like the basic one that everybody thinks about, but then there's Vedic numerology, which is a little different. Okay, they're little spices in their own special way. Okay, but find that playlist. It's on the channel. I will try to link it to this video once the video is actually posted, so that it kind of comes up at the end for people to watch. For those of you who don't know, but number 8 sideways is the infinity sign. Most of us know that, right? I got it tattooed on my side. So it represents infinity and eternity. Written sideways, the number 8 becomes the infinity symbol, representing the endless journey of the soul and eternal life. New beginnings and balance. In many faith traditions, 8 signifies resurrection, new beginnings, and moving past completion into a higher cycle of divine alignment. That's one of them. I'm going to pull up this other document because in cards, the number 8 Now this is my godmother's version, okay? Um, so when you do cartomancy with my godmother, which I am going to um, try to post that link to, I had them rebuild that and put it all together. So if you want to learn cartomancy, there is like as far as playing cards, it's not tarot, it's actual playing cards. There is a purchase you can make from my godmother, learning it her way. Her way is a little bit different from Hugan's way, but they're close. So learning it her way. These are my notes. Like these are my actual notes, y'all. Not even playing. These is my real notes. Let me turn this off so I can see myself. There we go. There we go. So these are my real notes, y'all. So note number 8, karma is mathematics. It's not good or bad. If this, then that type of vibe, okay? For every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. You get karma for everything, the results of your actions. What will happen if you continue this path? An unemotional result of your behavior, okay? Um, to expand on that a little bit more, but unrelated to this necessarily, um, a lot of times people, when they're talking about magic, they ask about karma and putting out good things, and you're not supposed to do that because that's bad. Magic is amoral. Um, it's not good or bad. It's just going to do what it's intended to do. Whatever your intention is, as long as you got a little wits about you and a little juju in them veins, it's going to do what it do. Okay. You don't have to be trained and seasoned and been in this life 10 years to make some shit shake. It don't need that. All you need, and you don't need 50, 11 herbs either. You need 3, maybe. Okay. Because you can do some things with cinnamon and mint if you need money. If you need money, get you some cinnamon and mint, and them is the only things you need. And it'll do it. And some sea salt. Preferably sea salt. You can use table salt if that's all you got. But get you some sea salt and use it exclusively for magic purposes. I got a whole container over here of sea salt. Okay. And it's not the one I cook with. Y'all can't see it, but I have a whole working altar. Okay. Herbs upon herbs, little jars and labeled. Them is my magic herbs. I got the same containers you buy to sprinkle on your food. Is the ones that I got for some of these here herbs. Okay. Cause nutmeg. What the fuck am I going to put some nutmeg in? Okay. It's staying in the jar that it came in. Okay. I got allspice. Allspice is real good. Allspice can do some things. Okay. Leave it in them balls. You can have it crushed up too, but leave it in them balls. Yes. Anything that comes in a ball shape can move because what do balls do? They roll. They keep things moving. Okay. You just learned something. All right. Anyway, back to this. Got distracted. Number 8, obviously, Obatala. Okay. For those of you who are in the Orisha practices, Obatala represents number 8, which is wisdom, righteousness, um, the rhythm of repetitive actions, okay, habits or lack thereof. Okay, because remember, everything is two-sided. Not everything is bad, not everything is negative. It's just is, which means there is both parts. Um, completion or leading up to completion. 9 is the number of endings, right? And 10 is like completion and kind of like the end of a cycle, which means something new is on the horizon when you get a 10. But with an 8 is complete. There is no end actually, but it's a flow of things. It's movement. You can't be still in an 8. You won't get ran over in an 8. There's no stopping point in an 8. It just keeps going, a cycle, right? Um, finishing something, maturity, okay, harvesting, reaping what one has sown, legacy building, and enjoying wealth, okay? Because 4 is like the foundations, right? 4 is like we building it, we getting it together. 6 is harmony. We're still building, but we're doing it evenly and succinctly. 8 is enjoying the things that you have been building, if that helps you. Let's see. Uh, Infinite nature. Okay, right. As I said, things not ending, keeping going. Prophecy coming to fruition. Okay, when you are living in your destiny in alignment, and you have an Odu or you had a reading with Hugon or one of the Mambos, and they say, if you continue on this path and you doing what you're supposed to do, this is what's going to happen. We're at the this is what's going to happen part. Okay, we at the results part. Okay, uh, universal code of balance and righteousness in its purest form. The right hand. So usually in magic, we don't talk about bad or good, light and dark. We don't. We try to avoid those terms, especially dark. I hate to say light and dark because it seems colorist, and I don't. I'm light skinned. We don't do that. Okay, we're sick of the colorism. So we do left hand and right hand usually, right? So right hand is usually the things we want. Left hand is usually the things that we don't. But every now and then, you got to do some left-handed magic because a bitch tried you. So you absolutely want what's on the left. Okay, you working towards the left. You want it. You want to call it in and give it out. Okay. So the right hand expression of a number 8 would be like wisdom and achievement, right? We talked about harvest, all that stuff. The left hand expression could be like materialism or being caught up in the benefits, being greedy, or a failure to harvest. Okay. This is where things fall apart. I saw the book. Read that book if you haven't. Yes. So that's the number 8. August is, a harvesting time, the time right before the transition of things, the place to reap what you sow. Okay. For those of us like Dora and my baby Sweetness, we are recording. This is live on, not live, but it will be posted. So you can leave your camera off if you're going to Sweetness, and I won't say your real name. Um,
My camera's only off because I'm at work.
oh, I figured you were. I was surprised to see you.
I
Um,
definitely still at work.
but yeah, Sweetness and I have birthdays coming up, and Sweetness has been my friend longer than I know my children. So we hitting 20 years.
Facts.
But yeah, so we if you know in August Leo, we're different. Um and just to clarify, August men and August women are not the same. Don't do that to us. Okay. Um don't be lumping us in. Now, August men are usually some of my ride or daughters, you know what I'm saying, as far as like loyalty. I have an uncle and a cousin that are August. Actually, my cousin's birthday is 2 days before mine. I was born on my uncle's like 38th birthday or something like that. So them is my ride or dies, okay? But I would never. They slang Kang like a dandy, okay? Okay. Some people aren't prepared for that life. Be careful with a Leo man. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, they're fantastic to hang around. But if you're trying to be in a relationship, child, you find you one who's tired. Find you one who's tired of living that life. Leos should not date each other. I listen. I agree. I agree. That's too. I would say fire signs shouldn't date each other, but I'm with a Sagittarius, and so I'm just
Now you
not.
know I'm with I'm with a status too. I feel like Aries, we can start something, but Leo should be homies. That's it. Favorite cousins, that's it.
Yeah, Leos. We are not for the weak. Okay, I'm fun and I'm loving and I'm kind and I'm sweet until we reach that point, and then you don't ever want to see that point. That's all I'm saying. All right. So, those of us who are divining, I know Monze and I are. I know a couple of y'all are in the car. Some people are at work and traveling. I just appreciate y'all being here. Okay. But we are going to divine for August. We are going to ask our medium our card deck of choice. Um, what we need to be aware of for August, what we need to prepare for, what we need to focus on for August, and pull at least 3 cards. We'll see what happens. Um,
I'm home now, so I'm gonna pull. You said what we need to be prepared for in the month of August.
yes. Well, I got some interesting things. um, hmm Yeah, this is. hmm It always comes back to watch my temper, and I'll really be chilling, but it's fine. All right. So those that are new or haven't seen one of or participated in any type of drill or reading with me, I use the Orisha Tarot. And there's another one called the Tarot of the Orishas, and it's completely different. So if you like the cards that I have, this is the deck that I have. It's the Orisha Tarot. It looks like this on the cover. If you get the one that's got like a brown or like a light yellow color cover, that's a different one. And they are different. So I can't speak to what those cards are actually like. So my first card is the Hanged Man. Okay, and in this card there is a barren earth that symbolizes lack of possibilities, a chain for anchoring souls to their bodies, a shadow for what is causing this person, for what is chasing this person, the sun for hope, and an oval symbolizing the vessel we choose our destiny in. Um, Traditionally, this card depicts a person strung up by one foot. The card speaks of being trapped and stuck in circumstance. In the older decks, it can speak of the idea of punishment for some kind of wrongdoing. For more modern sensibilities, it is about the ways in which our ego traps us by attachment. Whether you Whatever view you take, it is a card that people usually want to get past as quickly as possible, yet usually they linger here. Um, this card in my deck specifically means um, the person who receives this card is suffering. Their life is not moving forward, and something negative is pursuing them. They need to make big change to move forward instead of repeating the past. So this is an anti-8. Okay. um, Often the person actually plays a part in keeping this cycle of negativity going, yet their ego or mental state prevent them from seeing how the cycle works until it is too late. The person knows you will say these things, but won't listen or be able to act on your good advice. Things are not moving ahead, plans will fail. The person may be their own worst enemy. They need to find more fertile opportunities elsewhere. The bigger the move, the better. Admit you can't fix your own problems. See the appropriate professional. Go to therapy, child. Do not drink or do drugs. Make an offering to the earth. Pray to Obatala constantly for help, and don't go back to where you have been. Now, y'all saw me shuffle this and pull these cards, and we just talked about what August and the number 8 mean realistically, right? And here I go. The very first card is like, girl, get it together. You are anti-August. So anti number 8. So clearly I have some things I need to fix, right? Yeah. My next card is the King of Cups. So, um, I will say also, the Hangman in most traditional decks also talks about a change in perspective, a need for a change in perspective. I just read draw my whole card, so mine is a little bit different, but yeah. The next one, King of Cups. So this is a man singing. This is actually based on a very specific man. Um, So this card walks the balance between control and letting go. The singer must let it all out and go with the flow, but still hold to the traditional structure. There is room for artistry, but only to a point. The energy with this card can be overwhelming. It takes a lot of self awareness to not get lost as the Orisha draw close to the ceremony. Reach for everything you want, expect a miracle, and work with what you get. Beware getting lost in distraction or intoxicated by circumstance. After it just told me that I'm stuck in circumstance, right? Okay. Don't forget you lead by example. Hello. Teamwork is the only way forward, even if you are the star. And of course I am. I'm a fucking Leo. If you don't ask, nothing will happen. Pray loudly. The spirits are hard of hearing. Be joyful in your work and devotion. And specifically, the figure in this art was inspired by the famous Olympia Alfaro, which is a singer. The symbolism, there are drummers in the background playing along with the singer, and an alpuan belting out a song. An alpuan is the name of the title of the singer. This card is sometimes said to hold the Holy Grail in one hand. It is a card of deep spiritual connection to the other side. Through the energy of this connection, we are able to be healed and reborn. With this card, miracles are possible. Um, in this particular card, the person is singing during a ceremony. Any of you have seen videos of ceremony and there's people singing and a lot of things happening, right? The singer must know how to coax the Orisha into coming down, when to push, praise, or argue. They know the art of enticing the spirits into possessing their devotees so they can bring messages and healing. Many of the miracles spoken of come from the Orisha in this possession state. So that's my second card. And then my last card is the Four of Swords. So, the Four of Swords, we run into the compromises we must live with. In this card, it is this card where we find ways to step away from conflict and bring about a truce. In the Orisha traditions, Ogun carries this quality within his nature. At one point in his story, he was filled with rage. I'm sorry, he was in a rage-filled, destructive forest, quarreling, and everyone with sorry, I don't know why I can't read today, child. Quarreling with everyone and taking what he wanted. Things reached a breaking point when he raped his mother, Yemaya. I think I told that story a couple weeks ago. Afterward, he vowed to work tirelessly for humanity and progress in an attempt to make amends. The symbolism in this particular card, the fire of Ogun's unchecked rage being put to work, lumber and a tree stump cut to fuel this progress, a factory a factory putting out smoke from producing the things we want and need, a machete with which Ogun cuts roads through the forest, and train tracks carrying everything forward. It is important to look at what we need and the costs that come from making things happen. Our use of technology provides connection at an unprecedented level, but the precious metals required for our smartphones comes from large environmental costs. Rash decisions, acting from anger, or deciding hurriedly will lead to long-standing consequences. Using reason and a cool head will allow for better outcomes. A time of progress and growth, peace after conflicts, atonement for mistakes made, contracts and agreements. Think before you act, drink water when you are heated, plant a seed to replace what you have needed to cut down. So, basically, in my reading, again, I have the Hanged Man, the King of Cups, and the Four of Swords. So, I need to be aware of self-sabotaging behaviors, pretty much. I need to make sure that I am living in balance and being cool headed, um, and also moving forward, preventing stagnation in my own life, not sitting with things and wallowing in my self pity and my emotions. Which a lot of people this time of the year, this is when people that seasonal depression starts kicking in, and I'm guilty of that big time. And so that's definitely something that I know for myself I'm going to have to watch out for. Is and sometimes my birthday usually isn't actually a very happy time for various reasons, and so and just aging, right? Because I'm in my 40s, so we hit birthdays now. We like, do these start slowing down at some point? Do we get one every 2 years instead? Menopause and them things. It's just it's a time. Okay, it's fun. We're having a time, but it's also your morality. That's why a lot. Not I'm sorry, your mortality is what really comes up usually when people hit those 40s. That's why it's called a midlife crisis, because you're like, oh my god, what have I done with my life? And so as I'm coming upon my birthday next week, um, I know that for me, I'm going to have to watch those things this month because my birthday is an emotional trigger for me. So that's where I'm at. Maze, do you want to go next?
Of course, yes. All right, so I got a very interesting one. It kind of feels like this reading kind of has bits and pieces of what's been occurring in July, and it's kind of spilling over to this month. So, for what I need to be aware of this month, I got the Page of Pentacles along with not the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles. So those came out together. What I got from this is that I need to be highly aware of how new emotionally charged information or sudden shifts may connect to my long term stability and security. Um, there could be an unexpected intuitive breakthrough or message that will directly impact my efforts to secure my personal stability. So, as you know, like in a couple weeks, I'll be moving into my own place. So I won't be dealing with the whole roommate ordeal anymore. That has come up, that has brought on a bit of anxiety for me lately, because it's like, okay, I still had to pay rent for where I'm at right now, then I gotta pay for the moving and all that stuff. Like, thankfully I'm not moving very far, but it's like I still gotta pay to move into this place and still buy all the things I need, because I initially had wanted to renew my lease here for another year while I prepare myself to buy a house. So, but now it's like these things are kind of not happening in that way. So I know I'm back at the drawing board. And this was one of those things that was very unexpected. It was a lot of emotion behind it, but like this month, I need to make sure that, well, to segue into that, I got the moon card. So I have to prepare to navigate through a fog of incomplete information, because another moon card represents illusions and, things that are being hidden. So, I can't rely purely on logic, but I have to trust my inner compass. I have to trust my intuition during the month of August, because with this all occurring during the literal first half of the month of August, and I'll be moving on the 15th, which is the beginning of the second half of the month. This first half of the month is going to be met with a lot of uncertainty. Um, but I have to like I said, I have to trust my intuition and trust that everything is going to work out for me. So then at the end of all of this, I got the strength card, which I took as how I need to navigate this month. And it's basically being able to tame my fears and being able to move through the month without having outbursts, without reacting in such an emotional way, but being calm about it, especially when conflict arises, because even with just like my home life, like work has had a lot of stressors with it as well. We're still in the renovation phase of the office. Dates keep changing, movement keeps changing. So it's like, I get people asking me, well, what's going on with this? And, like I'm supposed to have all the answers, but I really don't. I'm being provided with like little bits and pieces here, and the people with all the information keep disappearing. So then I'm the person that everybody falls to, or like, well, what are we doing with this? And it's like, it's starting to irritate me with a lot of people. And I'm like, I'm trying to be mindful of how I'm responding to them. But it's also like, come on, folks, like, we sent out numerous emails that has the answers to the questions that you're asking me right now. Like everything is in there. So trying to remain calm, not unleash the kraken on these people. And it's just kind of interesting too, like the strength card being the eighth card in the major arcana. And then of course it's still being Leo season. So that works out. So it's like I also been thinking about the Lions Gate as well, coming up on the 8th, which is, I believe, this coming weekend as well. So, yeah. So that's what I got for this. So August is going to be one where we just going to have to, like, control the inner beast, keep her in control. I was raised by 3 Leos growing up. So, I'm a Libra, but, being around a bunch of fiery energy in one household growing up has taught me a lot about how to stand my ground against people. So, yes.
Very good, very good. I think it's funny that we both was told to watch our tempers.
Tell you.
For those who joined a little bit late, we are asking about August. We are just asking, what we need to know about our August and how we need to move to have the best month. So far, we both have been told to watch our temper, keep it moving, keep it pushing, but don't let people push you. That's what I got from it. So yeah, there was something I was gonna say and I forgot. I love how you got an 8 though. That was cute. Um, that was real cute. Let's see, there's a couple questions in the chat. Oh, so for Kalu, I put the link in the chat to the OHI community. As a Leo raised by a Leo who was raised by a Leo, tempers are real. Yes, yes, they are. Oh, another, as soon as I hit the X, I spent the last 2 days trying to get sent home from work because I feel a temper tantrum coming. Yeah, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, especially not you where you work at. Don't do that, child. Meditation is going to be the mode of the month. Do you hear me? Meditation. I saw a live, not a live. She was getting ready to do a live, but I follow one of the creators. Her name is Jasmine, and she actually just got married in like April. Some of y'all, I think, follow her. She has the long
Hmm.
locks. Mhm.
Yeah. Hmm.
And she was posting about shadow work. She was talking about shadow work. And so I'm going to do the shadow work mentorship starting October 1st. It's a 21-day mentorship. It's 3 weeks. And um, she was talking about how people skip the shadow work when converting to this life. I love her too. Yes, she is very hilarious. But she was talking about how people skip meditation and shadow work. Like they completely don't do either of those things, but they are over here trying to do candles and have 57 herbs in the candle and all the other stuff. And so um, part of her advice was stop doing that shit. Like you have to do shadow work and you have to meditate. Meditate doesn't mean you are sitting in silence and your mind is empty. That's not necessarily what that means. But you are focusing on, uh, and I won't even say focusing. You can meditate on a particular subject, or you can sit and let your mind do what it wants and then journal about that. So there's two different ways to do it. I prefer slight focus. Like I prefer to be thinking on something and then let my mind marinate on that and go. But you don't have to do that. And for some people, it's really hard to do that. And I understand. So you just kind of let your mind do whatever it's doing. And then you write, what were the thoughts that you were having? So you could think of meditating as the what and shadow work is the why. Okay. Because then you'll go and you journal about it and then you do some shadow work. Like, why was I thinking about that dead nigga? You know what I'm saying? Or why was I thinking? Hey, some of us has been with people that have done passed, okay? And sometimes they come up for no fucking reason. I ain't thinking about you. But stuff like that, right? The meditation is the what, the shadow work is the why. And so that's how you try and figure some things out because your brain is actually healing constantly. It's trying to, anyway. It's trying to heal you and itself constantly. Every new piece of information that it receives is something to grow upon and something to expound upon for your brain. Whether you know it consciously or not, your brain is doing it. And so with the shadow work, it's okay, these are the little pieces of information that I'm getting. How do I apply these things? How do I make this better? How do I grow from this situation instead of just receiving information all the time and doing nothing with it? The work part of shadow work is actually pushing through and getting to the healing. Okay. Or, at least getting to the recuperation. Sometimes you ain't gonna heal. You just gotta recuperate a little bit first, and then you'll heal in 10 years. But it'll take some time, but you got to know that about yourself and you got to know that about the situation. So, especially certain situations, like I've had people where they've gone to therapy and all of a sudden they've remembered some repressed memories and it's not fun stuff. So they have to deal with it even though the situation itself would have happened 10, 20, 30 years ago. They didn't even begin healing yet. Just because the situation's old don't mean they was healing that whole time. So they have to then, now they know the what. And sometimes in those situations, the why doesn't matter, but it's the now we're at the how do we heal. If there are certain situations as to why the why doesn't matter. When people die, the why doesn't matter. When you've been abused, the why doesn't matter because it wasn't your fault. That was that motherfucker's fault. And so we kind of skip the why on that part, and you go to the how, and that's how do you get healing now that and at a place that you are now where you are spiritually with yourself, where you are mentally with yourself, because how you heal now is different than how you heal at 20, and that's different than how you heal at 60, and how I heal at 40 is different than how Sweetness healed at 40. So it's not a one-stop shop. We all got to do some work. Miss Vicky, you got a question?
Yes. So when it comes to me and my healing and like doing shadow work, I like to just jump in head first. How like it's like little, process where okay, you gotta journal, you gotta do certain things. Me, I just really like to do one big old boom so I can just cry and release and then start working on myself. Basically, like clean that wound out and then start filling it up with everything that needs to be filled. So that's how I heal. You know what I mean? Because that's how I like it's better for me because I don't do well with like emotions. Like, me, because if I'm in a grocery store and a thought hit me, I'm gonna cry. Okay. I'm at work, I'm driving the school bus, I'm gonna cry. And it's like that to me, that's like really drawn out. So I just like to take everything and just tackle it all head on and then just maybe have a panic attack one good time and then start working on myself. And I'm serious because I can't like the just taking the baby steps. Like for me, I don't want to put my toe in the pool. I'm just gonna dive in, whether it's cold or it's hot.
And I'm glad that you know that about yourself, because some people don't know that, and so you also have to do what works for you, where you are right now. Where you are right now, that's the way you got to deal with it in order to get through it. at some point later down the line, your shadow work will be to why you're like that. Like,
Right, right.
why it got to be right now? Why can't you why can't you sit with yourself, give yourself time to feel those emotions, and then start the healing? But you ain't got to do that right now. You're not there right now. Okay. You right now, we're in triage. Okay. Get it out,
Yep, yep, yep,
get
yep.
it out, get it off, handle it. And then maybe eventually, if you do this work now, you'll get to the point where eventually you can sit with these emotions and figure out why it's like that. And then work on that type of healing. Shadow work is never ending. We will do shadow work until the day we take our last breath. And that's why people be confessing on
Yeah, I know. Yep, yep.
that's why they be confessing on their deathbed. I found out that I had 18 more aunts and uncles on my grandfather's deathbed. Okay, he confessed it to one of my aunts and told her, was like, yeah, well, you got two sisters. I think it's two sisters in Germany and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it was a mess. It was messy. Okay, that man already had 3 wives and like 6 kids, and here we go. There's more. Um, but that's what happens in life. You know, we hold on to these things, and everything that you hold on also creates a different version of yourself as you're holding on to these things as well. It's creating, and it doesn't really necessarily make it bad or good. Remember, we're talking about amoral things, right? It just is. Um, so you got to, that's something that we all have to work on. I just got a text about somebody having 3 weekends off after this. Somebody who's in the chat. Um, did anybody else do a divination for their August that they would like to share? No pressure, because as I know y'all, this is going to be posted for the people, so you don't have to share.
I did one.
Go ahead, RB.
There. Okay. My first card was the Eight of Pentacles. Yep. The Eight of Pentacles is about mastery and dedication and improvement. So I believe it's trying to tell me that I need to continue learning, continue practicing and trying to master the skills that I have already have. My second card was the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is about looking at failures, maybe self-doubt, and any pessimism that I may have, so such as holding on and to failures and not letting go and not looking past them because there's 3 cups that has been spilled, but there's 2 still standing. So my eyes is still on the cups that's been spilled, but I'm ignoring or can't see the cups or the opportunities that might still be standing there for me. And my last card was the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles, I still feel like that's a child, that's beginnings, that's new opportunities, and honestly, to still learn and grow. With me, I have an opportunity to be a mentee to someone who uh, is building their business. So she has previously built a business before. She stopped it due to um, not, I mean, reasons I'm not gonna say, but she is rebuilding her business and starting over, and she wants me to be there and help and watch as she grows her business. And that could be an opportunity for me to basically learn the stepping stones or how to create my own business. And I'm trying not to look at as a failure for my own business because that means I would have to slow down or take a step back on my own stuff. But in the same sense, it gives me an opportunity to learn how to do it. So I think that's what those cards are telling me.
It's definitely like some low risk learning in your, because she's absorbing all the risk in this
Yeah.
particular thing, and so you're just kind of like along from the ride. You can learn from her mistakes, learn from her struggles, and maybe even talk her through some stuff to where I always believe that there's a second set of eyes, like
Hmm.
all the time, fresh eyes. So with those pages in yours, pages are fresh as fuck. Okay, the children be fresh. The children be seeing things that we don't even think about. Their minds just work different. All children, doesn't even
Yeah.
matter. At one point, we was kids and we were saying stuff, and our elders were upset because we were hurting feelings. Same thing. So you may be able to give new perspectives as well on certain things that she wouldn't have thought about because she has a way that she thinks she wants to do this, right?
Hmm.
And she's already done it to a certain degree. So she has a way she thinks that she can fix it, and she is probably correct. Okay, because this ain't her first rodeo either, right? So
Yep.
she probably has a good sound plan, but it's always beneficial to have somebody else who you trust, who is a not trying to steal from you, because that's hard to find. Not trying to take your idea and make it to their own. Not that they don't have any aspirations, but they don't want your shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
those are two very different things. So having you as the second person could really help her because you may see something that because she's kind of like focused and I don't want to say narrow minded in a negative way, but because she's locked in, she may not see something. But because you're kind of on the outside, you have a broader view of certain things that she can't see. And so I think that would be helpful for her and you because it helps you with your problem solving skills, baby. Because
Hmm.
business, you need all the problem solving skills, all of them.
Yeah.
Every single last one. Stuff will come up last minute that you didn't even think about.
Yep. There has been some problems currently cropping up in my business because I don't know what to do with it, like advertising and putting yourself out there on social media and all that kind of stuff. I did like 30,000 videos trying to put myself out there on social media, and I'm looking left, right, up, down at my dog, at somebody knocking on the door, and it's just not looking right. But I seen her and other people and I realized, okay, this is a learned skill. I got a little depressed because I consider myself as a failure because I couldn't do it. So I just need to stop looking at myself as a failure and maybe tackle this and go on to it. And I also pulled some cards during the buck moon and on this. And so far, for all three of them, I have received the Page of Pentacles.
New money, fresh, fresh.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? New perspectives of money or naivete. And I can't even say the word. I told you I'm tongue today. But being naive about money. But
yeah,
those are some of the things. But it could also be pentacles can be business, not just money itself, but business. And so you, just based on what you just said, you feel like a failure, but you're still super new at this. Everybody,
hmm,
your first business, everybody's new at it. Don't matter how good you are at the thing. When you start doing it for yourself, it's a little different. Okay. And so you may need to act as a child and just consume some information,
yeah,
be in a learning place to where assume you don't know shit, even though you know a lot. Assume you don't know anything and take that type of mentality about it so that you are letting in new information and able to receive it and apply it instead of feeling like you got to be like this because you know the thing.
it's more like, how you get the feeling that you don't want to learn, you just already want to be perfect at it.
And that too. No.
So I think everything so far has been telling me, or the past three readings that I have done is telling me like, no, Heifer, you still need to learn.
Yeah.
You still need to learn.
Yeah. Let yourself be a newbie
Yes.
in a way. You know some stuff. Okay, you ain't stupid. You're not ignorant completely, but there's things that we are all ignorant of, and you
Yeah.
don't know until you find out that you didn't know that shit. And then,
Hmm.
God damn, I could have saved myself some time if I knew this 5 months ago. So be as a child in your learning.
Yes.
Um, Kalu or AB, do either one of y'all want to share what you got? You don't
I
have.
can share.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, this was a good pull. You know, August is also my birthday month. I am an obnoxious August Leo. I absolutely love my birthday month, the whole month. Yes, the whole month from start to finish. I feel like it's my birthday. Celebrate me, give me a crystal, let's hang out at the park, let's have a mimosa. Quality time is one of my love languages, so I really love taking the whole month to spend time with just my people. One of my pet peeves is wasting my time, so it really makes me feel loved if people make the time for me. So that's generally the thing that I ask of people during August, like, let's go on a walk, let's go to brunch, something like that. And so the first card I pulled up really made me smile. It was the Queen of Wands. Wands is the suit of fire, right? So that feels like right on point. The deck that I'm looking at is also really kind of right on time. The queen is holding a sunflower. One of the things I have is like a photo shoot for my birthday in a sunflower field, just because it's my birthday. And what screams Leo and fire and brilliant summer energy more than a sunflower. I think it's really giving that energy. So what this is saying to me is that there's a lot of magnetic energy I feel like around me, and that I should tap into that magnetic energy, the influence, tap into the charisma, the charm, and use that to drive some things forward that I feel like I'm thinking about. I'm brewing. I got some big plans. I'm thinking of a master plan for what I have. So I really want to take the energy of the Queen of Wands and to help move that forward. Um, the second card I pulled was the King of Cups, which caught my attention not only because it's a court card, but I really don't. I know I heard you say that or earlier. I don't really pull cups. It's really interesting. I pull pretty regularly. I try to do like a daily pull. I do like a monthly. I do not. The cups be ducking and dodging me. I do not be pulling. So anytime I pull a cup of anything, it really catches my attention. So my ears perked up when I heard that you pulled the King of Cups,
And
Priestess, because I
your
was listening.
birthday is the day after mine.
Correct, correct. And so I said, okay, King of Cups, what do I know about, cups, emotions, I know there's an invitation and offering as like, the King of Cups is riding out, like holding his cup. So I'm thinking like, what's coming to me. So I was thinking about what you were saying, trying to synthesize that with what I know about this card, and for I think it kind of ties into the Queen of Wands, right? That there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of energy around just like an invitation of like these new opportunities, creativity. I like to use the creativity and the fire of this time of year to really get things going. I live in a really cold place, and so I also use this last bit of like peak of fire to get my kind of herbal stuff going that's going to carry me through like the dark months, right? So I'm thinking about that. Um, and I love that these first two cards kind of for me tell me that there's a lot of opportunity around you, like you got to strike while the iron is hot. Um, and then this third card is the Eight of Swords reversed. Now, I like that it's reversed, okay? But it's still the Eight of Swords, right? Which is reminding me to not be my own worst enemy, okay? I have a tendency to overthink, right? I have a tendency to not act because I'm too busy overthinking, over planning it. I want things to be perfect. I want to do it just right. Similar to what was just stated, I don't like not being good at something. And so I can struggle with the discomfort, especially with not being good at something, especially if it's public. There's that little bit of ego that creeps in around that. I want to like practice it behind the scenes at home, away from the eyes until I'm good at it. And then But I think with a lot of what I need to do and the energy and the opportunity that's available for me, I need to not do that. I think that has caused me to miss some opportunities. I think that has caused me to shrink back. I think that has caused me to overthink things, to get caught in a little bit of imposter syndrome. So I need to rise above that. I need to rise above any limitations. Like, really, it's the mental, right? I need to stop thinking, oh, I can't do that right now because of X, Y, and Z. And I need to not let those negative limiting thoughts keep me in the way of doing what I need to do. Just like try it. I need to practice what I preach around that area before. I always tell people, right? Like, if you fail, you fail, right? What you get is information. What you get is information. What do you need to practice? Who do you need to reach? If you're not good at that thing, who is good at it? Who do you need to reach out to so they can teach you to be good at it? You can say, like, I tried this thing and I'm not good at it, but I see you. You're good at it. Can you help me? Can I pay you for your services? Can you mentor me? And so I'm really big on telling other people that, and I need to remind myself of that as well, because every time I have reached out to people to ask them to help, they've been more than willing, right? I just need to be able to do the thing, get the information, and then ask, because I've never had anyone say, no, I won't help you with that. So really, you know, all the energy is there. I think everything is set up. I just need to not play myself.
I love that. And I had the Four of Swords as my last card, and you had the
I
Eight.
heard that. Hmm.
The
Yeah.
similarities, you can tell
Hmm.
somehow, sometimes that
Hmm.
things just are the way they are, and there's nothing you could do about it. And we're a couple of years apart, but we're literally a day apart. And the fact that we had at least two of our cards were very similar for our birthday month is hilarious to me. Um, Also, with the King of Cups, I don't know if you heard me say it, but one of the things it said was pray loudly, the ancestors of heart are hard of hearing. So when
I
you
wrote
just
that down. I wrote that down. I felt that in my spirit. As soon as you said it, I wrote it down on a little sticky note, and I'm gonna stick it right here on the wall next to my ancestors. Pray loudly. Then I said, okay, noted. I'm a
but
bellow.
when you mentioned asking for help and actually, asking for help, I think sometimes we forget to ask our ancestors for help in the ways that we should, because they got all the knowledge. Like, we should be recruiting them to our causes more often. I think sometimes we pray remedially. Like, we pray on a remedial ass level sometimes. We just like, I need some money. I need people at my job ain't doing right. I need some help, but we don't never like actually like say what we need. Like, no, I need financial stability. That's really what I need. Okay. And we don't want to say the big thing. We kind of pray at this level when we could be doing the big thing. Like, no, I live in a terrible neighborhood. I need to move. I need the funds to move. I need a bigger house. Too many things walking around here. I need a better living situation. I need this. These are the things that I need, instead of praying like this, and then get little we get little miracles and we feel good because we found $10 on the street, when we could have had a better job that was going to pay us an extra $20,000 per year, but we didn't ask for that. We're asking for little stuff.
Ashe.
Sure.
Loudly, big.
Loudly big. um Kalu, did you want to do yours? I can't remember. I didn't see. I know you be doing stuff. You was driving before. Oh, I'm with my grandma at the moment. Okay, all right. No worries, no worries, no worries. We got a little time. We got a little time. So, no worries, baby. Don't even worry about it. So we'll kind of switch off a little bit. Um, Monday, if you could read for Vicky, because Vicky couldn't do hers, I'll do Kalu, because they're with their grandmama. And then Rika and Alexis, y'all read for each other. I'll do Vicky and Sweetness because Sweetness is one of mine. One of mine. So I'll do Vicky and Sweetness. Maze, you do Kalu, and RB and AB. Y'all can do each other. And same question, but for other people. Okay. Let me take this picture real quick before I forget to. Y'all know I take pictures of all my divinations and dissect them deeply later and then go back. So that's another good thing for those of you who are new to this. I just take a picture of it and then I put it in a Google Doc and I put the date, I put the question, and then I put the cards themselves, and then I, put a brief explanation as to what each card means, and then that way I can come back and look at it again. So like in September, I can look at August and be like, okay, yeah. I see how that came to fruition, or I see how I corrected before it became a problem. Things like that. So that's a good practice to have. We'll see who pops up first in my head. Because remember last time I did this and it made me read for Kalu, and I wasn't even supposed to be reading for him. So Kalu is in my head right now. Wait, no. See, again, and it's not supposed to be. See, I'm not doing it. No. Vicky. Focused on Vicky right now. Vicky, what's never mind. I'm gonna just have to do it the old school way. I don't want to ask you that since this is gonna be posted. Does Vicky need to know about her August? What advice do you have for her? Does she need to look out for? What does she need to focus on? Any evidence given? Appreciate the first. All right, Vicky. Ooh. Okay. All right. So, Vicky, the cards I got for you were Judgment, the Page of Swords, and the Nine of Discs. So I'm gonna take a picture of it because I'm gonna put it in the app for you with a better, deeper explanation. I'm not gonna go super deep since we got a few things to do. But so this is my Judgment card, okay? And this card actually talks about sacrifice. The basic story of this card is that Yemeya was at the time a beautiful peacock, okay? And the world was falling into chaos and destruction. And Olodumare was like, F them niggas. I'm not doing this no more. Y'all handle that because I'm tired of y'all not listening and not doing right. And so Olodumare didn't abandon humanity, but they wasn't fucking with us, okay? So all the Irumale were trying to get together in order to figure out how to take corrective action to fix the things that were happening. And they said somebody needs to go plead to Olodumare about this because we can't do this on our own. We need Olodumare to step in. And so the sun represents Olodumare in this card. And so Yemeya, being the beautiful peacock that she was, she said, I'm just going to fly to Olorun. So she was flying towards the sun. As she was flying towards the sun, she started to lose her beautiful feathers. They started to singe a little bit, and she becomes the vulture. When she gets to Olodumare, they're like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you really believe in this cause that much where you would do that? Okay, bet. I'm gonna come assist. So this is more about having conviction, not conviction as in negative, like in the court system, but about having conviction about what it is that you are doing. Being fully present and standing on business. Okay.
Yeah.
Page of Swords. This one is a card about observation. In ceremonies, particularly any type of like initiation ceremonies, whether it be voodoo or Ifa, whatever it is, there's usually somebody sitting and recording everything and just kind of like making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Okay. And so this one is about extreme observation and precision in that observation, because how you observe things and how you take that advice and move forward can change your life and somebody else's. And so it's about being meticulous in your work a little bit and taking it seriously. It goes back to this, you got to have that conviction to just do it regardless of what other people say, regardless of sometimes things get bad before they get good. Okay. And you got to push through that. The Nine of Discs. So this one is about harvesting. Okay. We love it. You see the growth back there. Okay. Harvesting, living life, living lavish. Okay. If you can get a plan in order, however, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is that's been sitting in the back of your head that you are trying to accomplish, whether it be, a new job, whether it be a business, whether it be your education, whether it be, your cheering, whatever it is, get a plan together. Be meticulous about your plan and then work really, really hard to achieve that, and you will have everything that you want. And so in this month, while we're talking about the harvest, you have the opportunity to harvest greatness, but you have to be on your shit about it. You have to make sure that you have your ducks in a row and you got to work hard. It's not something that's going to drop on you. It's not going to fall from the sky. You will have to work for it, but it will feel that much better when you've done the work and you get it. And you be like, I did that, bitch. I did.
Yeah, because that's sorry to interrupt. I just want to elaborate because my thoughts like to like bounce. Everything that you're saying is literally what's been on my mind. Literally, like um finding out what I want to do, sticking to it, doing it, and not thinking that I'm just doing it for no reason at all. You know what I mean? And so when the harvest card came up, it was like, okay, on the back end, I have to realize it's something greater than what I can see right now. So you kind of put everything into perspective because I was seriously doubting myself about a lot of things and I didn't have confidence in the stuff that I wanted to do. So I've been procrastinating to start these things. So it really does make sense.
Start with the plan. You can't start. This is the action card. Okay. This is action. This is the plan. And this is the result. You got to start with the plan. And I think this one came out first because you be just trying to move. And you just said that earlier. You just be trying to do the thing and have the shit be done,
Yeah. Yeah.
which, is fine. Action is great. You know what I'm saying? Movement is great, but you got to have something behind that action. You got to be prepared to do some things. You got to know the back end of the steps. So maybe take the time to write out exactly what it is and then the plan that gets you there. That way you have the steps and you can actually have something to work towards instead of leaving it all up here in your brain and you can't pull them thoughts out the right way. Put it on paper. Actually write it down. I know we like to do things in our phone and shit, but baby, I got literally notebooks, okay, of notes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Write it
This
down.
this is
Actually,
helping me. This
and
like really is.
yeah, have if you need to, if you don't know anybody who's doing the thing, AI is good for some things. It can help you break down ideas and get some kind of basic steps, and then you can go from there with your own process as far as how things are going. So, if you need it, put it in a chat GPT, put it in a Gemini, whatever you use, so that you can have some basic steps and then you can expound upon that and actually get where you're trying to go.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. Because that's literally what's been bothering me for the last couple of weeks. Like I don't have an actual, it's like my plan isn't written out to where it's like, okay, I have a thought. This is what I want to do. I have another thought. This is what I want to do. And it's never, and it's like, I'm not thinking about, okay, sit down, organize so you can get to that point, and then my thoughts start running with the, oh, well, then if I do this, then, what is it going to bring? But that's only because I don't have anything organized. So this definitely helped. Like it's crazy that it came out like that. So thank you.
You are welcome. Maze, if you want to go ahead and do Kalu, and then I'll pull for sweetness, and then we'll move to RB and AB.
All right, so you got an interesting one. This is a really good reading for you this month, Kalu. So I got for what you need to be aware of for the month of August, I got the Ace of Wands. So with this, definitely look out for either a sudden or intense wave of motivation or a brand new beginning that will be presenting itself to you. Um, but you must be highly aware of the window of opportunity that is presenting itself, because with aces, they do require you to ground yourself so that they can become actual reality. So aces are not wishful thinking. It is, this opportunity is there and you need to hop on it and do the work that is required to bring out the success. Um, and then for what you need to prepare for this month, I got the Nine of Cups. So what you need to be preparing for is to actually enjoy your wins and your successes. Doesn't matter how big or small those wins or successes are, you need to be prepared for that. Um, get ready for a period where things align themselves in your favor. So whatever it is that you've been trying to work toward and everything like that, like just know that everything is aligning for you as long as you actually take the opportunities that are being presented to you. And then I ended up getting the Wheel of Fortune. So this kind of solidifies, like this month is a month where everything is working out in your favor. But you also know that there is a level of control that you have, but there's also a level of control that you don't have. So be mindful of what it is that you actually have control of, and whatever it is that you have no control of, you have to let it just go with the flow. So this is going to be a pretty good month for you. But again, definitely make sure you're taking the actions necessary to get to the goal that you have been working towards. So like how we were talking, how this is a month of the harvest, of all you're enjoying the fruits of your labors. Like that's literally what this month is going to be for you. That's what I got.
Thank you, Maze. I appreciate you
You're
for the
welcome.
reading.
No problem.
All right, sweetness, my precious baby. I'll post this in our app and with the explanation in the divination channel for you. This is an interesting one. Okay, bear with it. Okay, let it marinate. Let it sit with your spirit. Okay, you're not gonna like this first card. First card is the Two of Discs. In my deck, this is, I'm just say it. The trees and the machetes representing the deceit. So the story behind this card is that there was somebody who was doing really good work in the community, okay? Well beloved, okay? And someone didn't like that. They were being a hating ass nigga and wanted to challenge that. And in challenge, it was a physical challenge. They had to cut down a tree. Whoever cut down the tree first was going to be the winner, okay? Well, because men and their muscles, right? So, but it was rigged. Okay, the challenger rigged the competition so that the beloved person wouldn't be able to win, and so they won instead. Whoop-de-doo for them, right? Well, what they didn't know is that the person that they were plotting against had that juju, okay, and not just some regular juju. They had all the juju, and so the person who lost, um, because they lost unfairly as well, right? Because you did all this dastardly stuff in order to beat me when everything was fine. So since you played with me, I shall release the hounds of hell, literally. This is how the Ajagun gets thrown into our reality. So this is, loss, death, sickness. That's how all those things became part of our reality, is because somebody played with somebody else and they unleashed hell upon the world. So things are precarious for the person getting this reading. Circumstance and other people's capriciousness make things hard for them. If they want to succeed, they must focus on how to create more stability. This may involve more changes than they are excited to undertake. A younger person seeks what you have, liars and cheaters in your business or community, profound and lasting power that others do not understand. Why are you helping the ungrateful? You know why I said that out loud. Protect your secrets. Do not trust others not to cheat. Move to a new home. Get a new job. That's what this one says. I know you're at work, so I won't I won't make you say nothing. The second card, Nine of Wands. So this is Yemaya, which is kind of hard to see, I know, in the video. But this is Yemaya underwater, and this is a shipwreck. This card is it's about the proper use of strength. Okay, I know who you are as a person, and sometimes we tend to strong arm ourselves or strong arm our ways through situations, right? And it's not that we want people to bend to our will, but I need to get this done, and either you're gonna get in line or you're gonna get out the way. And if you don't get in line and you're not getting out the way, now you in my way, now we got to have a tussle. You know what I'm saying? And this is avoiding the tussle. Okay. Success over all obstacles, promotions and advancement, winning another's heart, being surrounded by those who are not as skilled as you are. Okay. Be compassionate. Do not use force on any level. Lead by example. Make an offering by the sea. We ain't got no sea where we live, but we got water. So we're going to go to the water. But in some environments, exhibitions of might and ferocity are entirely appropriate, but in others are acts of control and abuse. Ultimately, this card suggests the person is more capable than those around them. Whether they have learned to use this well won't even deter their excess. It will explain how others feel about them. So you can strong arm your way through a situation and make people bend to your will if you want to, and it will still work, but it won't be the priestess thing to do. And the next card is, in fact, the priestess. And this card talks about meeting people where they are. Okay. Again, not using force, which we just talked about, right? The symbolism, the 16 calories that are used for divination, a starry expanse peeking through the mat as the unfolding of Odu in creation, chalk and stone for marking yes or no to answers in the reading, a chalk boundary for the limits of this process. Life is always evolving. If we listen, we learn to speak its language and understand what is being said. This kind of wisdom takes patience and years to develop. It is not intuition or feel, but a deep blending of knowledge, intuition, and inspiration, and our own wisdom that allow us to overcome the problems of life and accept what is beyond change. Deep wisdom from the universe, applied knowledge brings the best outcomes. Circumstances are evolving as a combination of your actions and forces in the world. Control is an illusion, but effort and attention will win every time. Meditate on the nature of the universe, contemplate everything as spirit unfolding. Be practical and deal with things on the level which they exist on. Only God is perfect, and study. So basically, there are people that are going to work against you. There are going to be obstacles. Okay. Don't unleash the hounds upon them. Don't use the force that you have. Don't do that. Don't do it. Use kindness and grace. Attract them in a way that is different. Okay. Meet people where they are, and you know how other people are around you. You're very observant, and so use that and apply that knowledge. You don't have to force your way into things. You don't have to force people to do stuff in a way that makes them uncomfortable. If you know how people react to things, and you know how to get them to do what you need them to do in a way that doesn't involve conflict. Um, so beware of that, particularly this month. Um, but you're going to have to there are some changes coming, for sure, as it relates to certain things. And you may just need to set up a plan to have those things move in a positive way instead of a negative one. Like, don't just be cussing people out. Don't unleash the hounds. Kind of use sweetness and grace to get things to move the way you want them to move. RB and AB, whichever one of y'all wants to go first.
RB, do you have a preference?
You can go ahead and go first.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure this month out.
Okay, so the first card that I pulled was the Knight of Pentacles. And so I always think of this as like a really beautiful card. There's a lot of opportunity that is available, but it requires a little bit of diligence. Not a little bit, a lot of diligence. A lot of kind of like steadiness, a lot of grit's not exactly the right word, but a lot of is that a commercial? I'm hearing like that. Remember, it was like solid, solid as a rock. Is that a song? What is that? What is that?
Yes, it is a song. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think of the energy that's coming up for this is like that solidness, that steadiness, that like it's not about going necessarily fast, right? But it is a solid, steady, diligent, relentless, like pace to lay a foundation. A foundation. It's really a card of like discipline and routine, which isn't always fun, right? Like it's not necessarily always fun to have that level of like discipline and routine. But sometimes if you are got big things, you have big plans, you have big vision. We know that it requires that level of like constant kind of like toiling and consistency to get what you want, right? Maybe that type of responsibility that doesn't necessarily feel good, that kind of like methodicalness. It's very practical. It's not glamorous, right? It's the work that happens behind the scenes that makes everything else possible. So there might be a lot of bit of that energy around there for you. You want to avoid being like inconsistent as much as possible. So like setting yourself up for success, really thinking of like laying a really strong foundation. You got a strong foundation, you know, everything comes up well around it. And even if it doesn't, you can always pull back to that strong foundation. The second card was Six of Pentacles, but reversed. So Six of Pentacles is generally like a really great card. I love both of these pentacles for you in regards of just kind of like earth energy, wealth, abundance. But it's a sign like maybe there might be a weird power dynamic, some inequity amongst resources, whether it's your own or like shared resources that are around you. I would just keep an eye on like the generosity around you. Is everything equitable? Are resources being shared? Are people um, doing things in a spirit of generosity? Are you doing things in a spirit of like generosity? Or is the that balance of like give and take, is it off? Is it one-sided? Is somebody doing more work than the other person? Just like keep an eye on that energy and adjust if it's coming from you, or potentially just have a conversation where it needs to be. You know, it doesn't have to be like a whole like to do, But, maybe if you're the type to stay quiet when you see that things are off balance, or maybe you're doing more, pulling more of the work, I wouldn't do that. I would just, have a nice, calm conversation around that and say, like, hey, this doesn't seem very balanced or fair or equitable. And I have some ideas on how we can change that. Then the last card I pulled is Five of Wands, which I don't know if you are. The visual of this card is five people kind of with their staff raised in open conflict. So it makes me think that there may be a lot of disagreement, misunderstanding, right? This is like normally like outright opposition, rivalry, arguments. You might have a lot of haters, but not like quiet, sneaky haters, right? Like out upfront haters or people who are trying to get in the way, who may see you making progress, right? Going back to the Knight of Pentacles, they see you making the progress. They see you locked in, doing what needs to do. You've got that consistency. You've got that discipline. The foundation, the vision is like coming together, and here they come. Well, whether it is intentionally misunderstanding you, stirring the pot, causing misunderstandings, open and outright, like just conflict, just like pushiness, bossiness, just unnecessary like aggression. So be prepared for it, right? Be prepared for it. Stay level, stay calm. Don't engage in that type of don't engage in that type of energy, right? Like be prepared for it. Don't let it push you over. Don't let it knock you off like your game, right? Stand firm in that, but like don't get caught up in that kind of like nonsense. Um, just discord. But it might come your way, is what I would say. So just, you know, look, I sound like my mom when I say this. Stay prayed up, stay grounded. As Priestess mentioned, meditate so that when it happens, when somebody tries to come to you with nonsense, loudness, aggression, just doing too much, it's ugly, that you can stay calm, cool, collected, um, really, that queen energy, that royal energy, right? That you're not doing all that, and you are able to shift that energy quietly, gracefully, right, without engaging in that, and you can just step on by that and get back to the business of what it is that you're doing. Because it seems like you got a lot of beautiful things, a lot of pentacle energy that's coming your way, but it might not necessarily feel easy in the month of August that I have.
Get to the money, child.
Exactly. Ignore it.
I've been trying to. I've been trying to.
Maybe take a
Uh,
kickboxing class or something like that, just to get that. It's sometimes hard to keep your composure when you're in situations like that, but don't hold it in your body, but don't respond to it either.
oh, it's August now. My pettiness is back. I couldn't do anything back in July, so it's back now. But I would try to not respond, and again to just let it go. Honestly, I think it's like a cross between still trying to work and do my job and still trying to create and uh get more for myself so I can quit said job. And every place has their nastiness, especially if majority of the people in the business and job is women, and they each and every one of them have their own type of nastiness trying to get to the bag.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
always like the worst because it doesn't have to be that way. And I don't mean let people step on you. I'm a big fan of letting people look stupid. I'm a big fan of spotlighting when people are loud and wrong, loud and ignorant, but don't let them pull you into that behavior, right? Highlight it, right? Somebody start yelling and doing the absolute most or being nasty. Maybe just be quiet for a few, let it get real uncomfortable so they can hear and see themselves, right? So everyone else can hear and see them. Look how stupid you look. Look how stupid you sound, right? And then respond with grace because then they're going to feel even more stupid because look how you sound. You need to go to counseling, right? So like I'm not saying let people step all over you, right? I think that's maybe what this like this energy of the Six of Pentacles about. Like, don't swallow it in the way that you let inequality slide or you let different things like that happen. So, like, stand up for yourself, all right? But you can do that in a way that shows how thoughtful you are, how strategic you are, right? How you handle conflict well, right? How you are ready for great things. And that's exactly why you're going to leave them sitting where they are, because they're chasing after coins. And just
Definitely.
highlight, and is that that's gonna make them dislike you even more, right? Because they're gonna see it, they're gonna feel stupid, they're gonna feel bad, and they're gonna hate you for it, and it's gonna be hard. But just remember that you're gonna leave them where they are.
Oh no, this
And
is something that I have been doing. It's crazy. It's because I can't get nobody back for the month of July. So every time we have like a Zoom meeting, I turn that stuff up and let everybody hear it.
mm-hmm,
They ask me, where your AirPods at? I'm like, oh, I left them at home.
mm-hmm,
So for the month of July, after a couple times and a couple managers have heard what they tried to say, they have calmed themselves down.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, I just be letting them Zoom meetings and anything that they want to tell me on like Microsoft Teams, I send that
mm-mm.
stuff right back to the group and be like, can you um say this one more time, or can you elaborate on this? What do you mean about this?
That's
Send it in an email so it lives forever. I like to clarify the things that you
Yeah.
said to me.
politely petty. That's polite.
That,
Yes, yes.
so it's a little
Claire
bit petty,
Huxtable
but nothing
with
happened to me. Nothing has happened to me, and I politely asked them to clarify. So I thought I can get away with that a little bit. So July was a good month.
yeah, they want to play games. I always like to think of it as like, Claire Huxtable petty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna point it out and I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna do it with grace, and it's gonna piss you off even more.
Mhm. It
You
was a
know?
great month. I realized how much petty that I could get away with.
You can do petty with style. I tell people, get more creative in your petty. Petty with style. Petty
That
with.
that was not the assignment, RB. Not what you see.
I was looking for ways. There's been moments where in the beginning I had just tried to let it slide, but then you know how it is when your eyebrows get jumpy and you get the itch to start, cracking your neck and about to roll it at somebody. So I had to
That
get creative.
Be
well,
clever. Be clever.
RB, what did you get for AB?
So the first card I have gotten was the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, it revolves around stability, finances, leadership, abundance. There are some financial opportunities coming your way this month. It could be a raise, some sort of investment, or maybe a business connection. Or as you said, maybe a mentor is right down the street from it, just waiting for you to speak up on. But I also would like to just let you know, just don't overextend yourself. Try to remain, stable. Try to keep everything, your finances and mindset and all that kind of stuff, kind of stable. My second card is the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is basically says you have a flow of creative energy for the month of August. Um, it's telling you to basically go for whatever you've been considering. And if you have some ideas right now, bring them to fruition. Go ahead and build up on it. Um, but there's also something like, I don't know, it's just telling me to say to be aware of communication. Like, misinformation, and don't be jumping to conclusions and all that kind of stuff before you have all the information, before you have all the details. And then my third card for you is the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is basically telling me that you have support. Your friends, your family, they're out rooting behind you. Um, but like you have don't be afraid to share your success stories. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and tell your friends and your families of the things that you have accomplished so they can root with you, so they can be with you and they can see you where you're going.
Gosh, I do tend to keep that to myself. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or I don't know. Sometimes
No,
people take things the wrong way, and then my little feelings be hurt, and I'll be like, I wasn't trying to brag. I just, I
then
thought,
some
then
people,
I'll be like, I'll never share a success with you again, right?
but some people want to see you win, girl. They want to
I
see
know
you
they do.
win.
I know they do.
You just got to know who to share that information.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. Some people, I've had some weird reactions where I've been like, oh, I think I'm just such a natural cheerleader that when people kind of respond in weird ways, I'll be like, wow, didn't know you have the spirit of hateration inside of you, but now I know.
Listen, and I think so. And it's funny that you say that because I'm the same way too a little bit. So I don't say all the things that I've done and accomplished because all it takes is one time for me to say, "Oh yeah, I did this and this and this," and they were like, "One time." It takes one time,
Once.
and I will
That's it.
never say it again. You know what I'm saying? And so that's something that I have to work on too. So I completely understand
Mhm.
because I'm amazing. I'm that bitch for real. Um, and
And you should let people know it, girl. You got people behind you with pom-poms ready to cheer for you, and they
yeah,
can't do anything because, you stay silent.
yeah. And mine comes from a trauma I won't mention because this is going to be public on my YouTube channel, and the person might very well actually see it, but they know what they did. Um, but yeah, it comes from having somebody in my life specifically, someone who is supposed to encourage you, someone who's supposed to be a support, and only supporting when it seemed like a good idea for them, and
Mm.
not when it's
Hate that.
really good for me.
Mhm.
And so that's where I know where that comes from. I did the shadow work on it already.
I
Um,
can relate to that.
yeah, it comes from specifically one person where they just they only supported me when it made them look good, not because they genuinely wanted to support me. So all my accomplishments and things like that, it was like, oh yeah, my birth name. Oh, she's doing this, she's doing this, she's doing this, she's doing this in front of people, but behind closed doors, it was a you ain't shit type vibe. Um,
Yep.
so if I'm not saying that's what happened to you, AB, but maybe try to evaluate where that actually came from because it's
Oh,
not
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Having people do that to my face and then find out from other people
yeah,
that they were saying nasty things behind my back, and it very much hurt my feelings.
yeah,
And I'm just not like that. And so being surprised and caught off guard and like unawares about it, and just I mean, if you don't like me, I'm totally okay with that. But like, don't be upfront about that. And I'm such an upfront person. If I don't, I tell people, if you have to ask if I don't like you, then I like you, because if I don't like you, you'll know. So, it's kind of like I don't understand that kind of like sneaky underhand behavior, but it happened a couple times and it hurt my feelings, and so I tend to hold things close to the vest ever since then.
yeah. We got to work through that. It's hard.
Yes, one of your cards for this month. I hope that you will do at least one, share one accomplishment with your start with your family. Or maybe not you. I
Ooh,
don't know.
oh,
I don't know who hurt
I was like,
you.
yeah,
I was like,
oh,
I'm not sure now. Who hurt who was it family or was it friends? But
I've
I would like to see, I would like
friends.
to
I've had some
hear.
cousins. I've had some cousins. Why are the female cousins? I've had some female cousins say and do some really hurtful things behind the scenes. Yeah. And so I'm like, ooh, family.
Because I was like, well, I don't know who it was, but I would like to hear at least you share at least one thing with someone you can trust
hmm
about something that you've done a accomplishment. It can be a small one.
Mm.
I'll extend my little self out there in the effort. I'll remind myself I'll be okay.
Listen, God bless the president. That's how I feel all the time. Anytime I start to feel that way, I'm like, no, bless me in the face of my enemies. Let them
I know.
on their own on their own haterade. Let them get okay. That's where I am now. That's where I am now. I wasn't always like that, but now there are things I don't post things before they're done. I stopped doing that. So I don't
Mm,
about nothing that's not done. So anything that's in the works, keep that to yourself still. But the things that are already done and accomplished, run it.
Yes, toot your own horn, girl.
Yeah.
okay,
No,
I'm gonna practice that.
never,
Practice it.
never let them forget that you's a bad bitch. Okay. Never let them forget you's a bad bitch.
No, 'cause I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna try it. It feels vulnerable for me, but I'm gonna give it a go.
That's where you got to step into that Leo energy. Like, no, bitch, I'm here. I don't care that you don't like me. I don't care. The reason why you upset is because you see your own deficiency in my success. That's not my problem.
It takes a lot to really push me to that point, but when I really get to that point and I pop off, people will be like, "Oh, okay." Because I try to be real chill about things, but I'm like, it'll only let it go so far.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is our birthday month. We're not doing that.
It's true. It's true. I'm not. There's no quiet. There's no demure. Then next thing you know, I'm just like, no, you gotta put some respect on my name.
No, this is our birthday month. Okay. We're not doing that. Celebrate us or move out the way. Like,
Or move. Really, that move.
move. You can,
If you're just gonna stand there and hate, just move.
yeah, you can block me. I don't care. I didn't post this for you. This is my shit. Yeah, do it. All right, well, it's 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
We did it, y'all. We did it. We did it. So, um, you know, take stock of the things we talked about today. Those of you watching, make a plan. That was one of the messages for a couple people. Sit with that, sit, meditate with it, and make an actual plan to do the things for August, right? You got to prepare. You've got to work in order to harvest. Okay, so do a little bit of work over the next couple days. Get your things together. Get a plan in place. Something so that come September, you're not out here looking crazy because you didn't plan for nothing and you don't got no backups. You don't got nothing to harvest. You don't have no skin in the game because transformation is coming. Winter is coming. prepare prepare for it. Don't fail due to lack of preparation. So thank you everybody for coming. Thank you all for being vulnerable and working out your mess with me as because my reading was kind of fucked up. So I gotta work through that. I'm gonna have to sit with that one. I'm gonna go meditate on it. I'm doing my spiritual bath tomorrow because my man goes back tonight. So now I can do my spiritual baths at normal time again. So I got one coming up tomorrow, so I can hopefully set things up before next week. If you didn't do a spiritual bath for the new moon, or I'm sorry, for the full moon, try to do one in the next couple days at the beginning of the month to clear out the old energy and bring in some new. Okay. We'll not see y'all next week. Will not, would not, could not with a boat. However, week after, week after, uh, that's a Sunday. What day is that? The 16th, I think. Yeah, the 16th. So we'll be back on the 16th. We could talk about the new moon at that point. Hopefully you've already prepared. Keep that in mind. Next week, do a divination for the new moon. Next week, in lieu of a big class, do a divination for the new moon. That way you're ready for it. You know what we're building. So this is kind of like a preparation for that, because we just talked about making a plan, right? So by the time new moon comes, you should have some things in order, okay? And then you can move forward with your plan. And then I'll find something for us to talk about in the middle of the month. I don't know. I'll find it. Maybe preparation for the full moon after. Maybe we'll do that. We'll figure it out.
We'll
But
talk. We'll talk.
love y'all so
Yeah.
much.
And enjoy your birthday coming up next week, child.
Yes. Y'all see me on the app. Y'all see me on the app. I just want we on trip. Okay. But love y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See y'all in the spiritual streets.
But be safe out there.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Amen. Ashe. Aibobo.
Do some money work. Thank you, Kalu, for the happy birthday wishes. Happy birthday, AB. Happy birthday,
Happy
Sweet.
birthday.
Happy birthday. It'll be her birthday on the 14th, too. So, we rolling.
Hey, look at all this fire energy.
We rolling. Love y'all.
Bye.